Give you guys a minute to come on. You guys can be spared from my stupid tickle in my throat cough. I'm going to try not to slurp in the microphone. I'm going to try anyway. Hello, Grace. How are you? I'll give you guys a few more minutes. I can never see right away on YouTube. So if you are already on YouTube, just type in hello and let me know where you're tuning in from. And if this is your first time, I always like to know how you heard about it. So hello, Diana. How are you? I have had I haven't had this for a very long time. Like a day and a half, 2 days, and I'm just about to lose my you know what, because I have this tickle in my throat that I got from Greg, and it's like a relentless tickle. It's not even like a full lung cough. It's the most annoying thing ever. Hello, Grace. I see you on here now. And Christina, Marissa, Dina, Rita. Hey, Sue. Hey, how'd the boys do tonight, Sue? Let me know the score. I wanted to stay, but actually, no, I really didn't want to stay. I wanted to rest before I came on, but I normally want to stay and watch the rest of the game. Hey, Justin, how are you? Justin, I don't know if you got my message on Facebook in response to your message from like a month or so ago. I never saw it there. So I just recently responded to you. So I'm so sorry that I didn't see it sooner, because I really do try to keep up with all my Facebook messages. A lot of times there's an automated response on my Facebook messages, and then there's Michelle will respond, and then Michelle usually alerts me like, hey, you've got a couple messages that you've got to get to, but I didn't see that one. So, hello. Jack is tuning in. I'm sure Molly's there, and I'm sure they're thrilled to be tuning in tonight on Monday. Oh, Sue, you're lost by 3 in overtime. Oh, that's painful. Ay. And Jack said he's a big fan of the show and of me. Jack came to meditation last night at the center. I was so excited to see him there, because it just warms my heart when my kids actually participate in this stuff. Hello, Yvette. How are you? And Marge and Missy. Oh my God, Umka cold care. It doesn't even feel like this is a cold though. That's what's so annoying. It's like a tickle that doesn't go away. Aggravating. Hello, Kristi. How are you? Tyler. Hello. Kyle made a clutch 3-point shot to tie the game. You are kidding me. And send them into overtime. And I don't even need to be psychic to know what happened after that. But that's all I'm going to say. But that's okay. It's all right. We'll get them next time. We're talking about basketball. And the boys had a game earlier tonight. The JV team that Christopher is on is doing quite well. And it's really exciting to watch them. And I realize I'm a much better spectator when we're winning. You heard it from me. I'm supposed to be like fair and centered and really zen-like, and I'm really not any of those things at all at a basketball game that we're losing. So clearly I'm a sore loser, and I'm more competitive with the kids playing than I thought. I really don't feel like I'm a competitive person, but when my kids are playing and we know they could do better, I'm not really quite namasteing. Nice. You know what, Kevin? I just came across the bag of stuff you gave me. So I'm going to take that. I totally forgot about all of that stuff. You gave me amazing cough drops and stuff. So I am going to, right after this, go and take all those goodies that you gave me, because I totally forgot about that. In the meantime, I'm just going to drink, oh my God, I forget what kind of tea this is. Oh my God. I drink it every time. Hibiscus tea. Okay, so those of you who are tuning in, you're pretty much regulars. Hey, Nicole, how are you? Hey, Kelly. Oh my gosh. You're watching from my tree outside, of course. I expect nothing less. It's lit up at least now. So those of you who know me and know what this whole thing is about. But for those of you who don't, this is just an opportunity for me to chat with all of you about whatever you guys want to talk about, questions that you have about my book, questions about intuition, meditation, just life. And while you're typing or thinking of your questions, I always like to go over the events that I have coming up. So next weekend, I have meditation again at 7 o'clock, and that is open to everyone and anyone. And you just show up. You don't have to let me know you're coming. You can bring a friend. Most people actually prefer to come alone. So if you come alone, you're not going to feel weird, like, why am I the only one here by myself? Because you won't be. And then the following week, I am doing the Sunday before Christmas and Christmas Eve. I always do like a lights ceremony, and it's a whole, um, it's just a time to like reserve and focus on the light of the season, the light within each other, and to pause. So it's just like a holiday light service. It was super profound a year ago, and last week, was that last week already? No, it was a week ago. A week. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I had told you all that a dear friend, Annette, had passed very suddenly, and she had such a profound experience at the light service. So this year, I feel like every year I'm just going to dedicate that service to Annette because it was so powerful what happened to her. So that's the Sunday before Christmas Eve. And then the following week, the Sunday before New Year's Eve, we're going to do a New Year's meditation. And then following the New Year's meditation is a vision board workshop. So look at all that stuff online. And yeah, that's it. Then after that, what do I have coming up? Nothing that I can think of. Okay, so Grace, how was the event that you went to on Saturday night? Okay, so I went to see a medium who has been unbelievably generous to me in just mentoring and having a sounding board to talk to about mediumship stuff. And I really keep myself quite isolated in the psychic world. I don't associate with many people. It's just a weird world, and I always have kept myself very private. But this woman has always been generous, or the last 3 or 4 years has been generous in sharing her time, and so I can bounce things off of her. And Greg and I went, and they're wonderful. They did an amazing job, but I realized how I hope I don't sound like a total asshole when I say this, but when I was sitting there, one, I was absolutely grateful that I was not somebody in the audience desperate for a message. That was on the top of my head of like, do you realize how lucky I am and he is that we don't have that desperate need to hear from someone? So I was absolutely plugging into the gratitude of that. But on the other hand, I realized how much it's not my thing. I'm not interested in going to galleries. And I was like sitting there going, oh my God, like this is not a hobby for me. I don't enjoy this. And I was turning to Greg and I was like, I don't enjoy this. But partially, I don't enjoy it as the receiving end of it because thankfully I don't feel I am in need of a message from anyone who's crossed over. So I'm not being a total jerk, but I was just sitting there grateful that I'm not in need, and at the same time going, oh my gosh, it's really hard to sit in these things and listen when it's just not like an interest. So does that make me sound like terrible or weird? I hope that comes across clearly. So it was very interesting to be in the audience. I hadn't been in an audience in about 2 or 3 years. So that's always an interesting perspective. It felt good to not be working and to be witnessing it. It's always nice to hear and see people getting a connection they need. That's always nice. But it was interesting for me, and gratitude. I felt more gratitude. Gratitude, and like it was a long time. I realized I can't do 3-hour galleries. No, I'm not going to do 3 hours because 3 hours for you guys to sit is too long. So it actually made me think that I'm going to change up the way I do a couple of things with my galleries. One is I might actually put in an intermission, which I've never done in 15 plus years. I've never had an intermission, but I realized, my God, it's really hard to sit still in these things. So that's how Saturday night was. Sharon, everybody always saves their spot for meditations. So you never have to worry about that. Haley would like to know why I call Christopher Dory. I don't think she believes me. I used to call him Dory because he would be like, oh, look, a squirrel. Like, like we'll tell Christopher something, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, yep. And then I'll be like, wait, what did I have to do? What were we supposed to do? So that's why I call him Dory. He's like the little Dory fish from Nemo. He's getting better though. He's getting better. That kid is like excelling this year, and I'm like super excited about it. Okay. Let's see. Christina, you see it says that I do personal book signings. I didn't get one when I did my Cyber Monday shopping because I knew it was coming. How do we get one with the signing? Yes, I do have, it's not an option on Amazon. So the personalized signed books. So you can always buy a book from me and I will sign it. Either you can order it from the office and I'll sign it and then we send it out to you. That takes a long time. So I actually recommend you going through Amazon, and then next time you see me or whatever, bring the book and I'll sign it. So those are one ways to sign it. But I also do personalized intuitive copies. And this is where I literally sit with the book and your name or whoever you want the book written out to. And I sit with their first and middle name, and I just sit and see what kind of messages comes through me. So every single book is literally intuitively personalized. So we release like 20 at a time, just because I don't want to get like a lot, because I really do sit and take my time with each one. So we have plenty. We have plenty right now. I'd done so many last year, so I don't have like a rush on them this year. I have 3 going out today, actually. But that you would order through the office, through my website. There's a link that says personalized intuitive copy. So you would purchase it. Michelle will, let me just think of the process. Either there's a note where you say who you want the book for. Like if it's a gift for yourself, just give me your first and middle name. Or if it's a gift for a friend or family member, just give me their first and middle name. If they don't have a middle name, specify that. And then where you want us to send it off to. So I usually do them pretty quickly, though. I try to get them out within 2 days or so. So it depends what's going on. But over the next week, I'm pretty good in being able to keep up with them. So that's on my website. So thank you for that question. So no, don't order it through Amazon, because it just makes it more complicated. If you already have a book of mine and you want to do it personalized, you could just write into Michelle at info@beingknowingdoing. Do I have that website here? No. info@beingknowingdoing.com to see how you can get your book that you already have personalized. Okay. You feel the same way about privacy and mediumship. Privacy is protection for me. Yep. Yes, yes, yes. The privacy and mediumship and being public is it's kind of cool and it's kind of annoying. It has its moments. And it's more annoying for my personal life than it is for like life. So what's on your guys' mind? What do you guys want to talk about? Let me see. Oh, hey Kim over there. How are you? I don't know. Let me just scroll through here. I don't normally answer questions through Facebook, but let's see. Oh, you've been missing it. You work 3 to 11. This is your first day off on a Monday. That is good. So a lot of you are over there. Oh, Nicole, you popped over, and Kevin, you must have popped over. So that's good. So no questions. You guys are like so quiet. This might be helpful because my voice is aggravating myself. Which, speaking of, last night after meditation, my oldest son, Jack, said that he doesn't remember where he went. He was like really relaxed and calm. And his direct quote was, "This was the first time I actually didn't find your voice annoying." And I thought, that's a win. I'll take it. He did not find my voice annoying. He found it soothing and relaxing. So, so that was a win. If it's one day out of all of your 18 years, for 2 hours, my voice was soothing and relaxing to you, I'm thrilled. And Christina, I'm not doing any personal intuitive questions. I thought about it, but once I get on the roll for them, I don't want to stop, and I don't want to overdo my my voice. So the questions that come through are usually just very generic about intuition. How do you tap in? Just anything intuitive. Also, I have Italy trip coming up. I have not formally announced this. I put it out there I think it might have been just on Facebook that I put it out there, like hypothetically speaking, who would be interested. I have 11 spots for 11 people who can come with us. And I think 8 of those, if I remember correctly, 8 are like pending. So if you are interested in Italy in a retreat, it's July 16th to the 25th. Actually, technically, it's 18th to the 25th is the retreat. But if you want to travel a day early with us to visit Rome, you could do that. And all that information is going to be coming out on my website soon. So that's always exciting. And this will be my 3rd time doing a retreat in Italy. And it's just a ridiculously cool experience. It's hot. It's really hot. For those of you who have not been to Italy, it's like blazingly hot in the summer. It's worth it. It's great, but it's hot. All right, let's see. Where are we? Oh, yeah, Eileen, I have to get lemons. I will get them. We will do the lemons. You know what you could do instead of lemons too in the meantime is like do the whole paper thing, stick it in water, and then stick a cup or a glass of water or Tupperware of water with the name in it so you freeze the name. You could start there too. Marissa, good question. Do we have to bring our own magazines for the vision board class or do we have some? I have some. I often suggest people to take or bring magazines, but particularly because some of my magazines might not be filled with the images and words and things that you want in them. So I do encourage people to bring like 1 or 2 of your own. And that's really even more geared for men because I don't have that many like manly, magazines at the center. So I probably will have something you like, but if not, like bring 1 or 2. But don't overdo it because I have so many magazines and the way we do it, we all kind of just tear out things for each other. We start looking for things for each other. It's a long story. Michelle mentioned a retreat. 1,000. Hold on 1 moment, please. It's so annoying. This cough. I chugged honey before, but I'm going to get Kevin's stuff. So Michelle mentioned a retreat, Thousand Island Way. Is that still a possibility? Is Thousand Island Way, is that up near, oh my God. Oh my God. What's the name of the town? Like where the Olympics used to, Lake Placid? Is that up near Lake Placid? Because I know we were talking about a shorter spring like weekend retreat and the Mirror Inn in Lake Placid, which I've been to many years ago. It's beautiful. They are really interested in waiting to hear like what my dates are, what my parameters are. So that's a mini retreat that we're putting on the fence, but we want to get all the information for Italy out first. And then we'll go into planning mode for Lake Placid. But so I'm not sure if that's Thousand Island Way. I feel like it's not, but maybe it is. Watertown? It's in Watertown. I don't know. Unless, because there was another place, and I just don't know where that one was. I don't think it was in Watertown, though. I think it was closer to like Saratoga, which is not going to happen. But Mirror Lake Inn in Lake Placid is on the roster of things to do. Yes, you could bring husband magazines. You could bring your husbands for the men that come. Yes, there you go. Thank you for donating your husband's magazines. Let's see. Tracy, what specific meditations do you like to do for getting centered or releasing some of the energy? You do Michael Seeley on YouTube, which is awesome, but you never know which ones to focus more on. It's funny, last night's meditation was very much geared to, well, it was very, very specifically geared to mindfulness and to really understand how our mind works and how we travel throughout time in our brains. Because when we think of yesterday and we think of tomorrow, we're actually time traveling in our minds. So along with that, we talked about this whole thing about releasing and letting go. And what we all have shit to release, right? We all have something that bothers us, something that we need to let go, something in our lives. Maybe we have had this, maybe we currently have something like this, maybe we will have something like this. But we all experience that, a release. We need some sort of release. And the more I've been thinking about this, the more we think about, I got to let it go. I got to let it go. I got to release this. We can't, because the thought about releasing is all about that we have to release. We want to release. We want to let go. And it's all very counterproductive because it's exhausting to keep wanting and trying to release. So in the meditation last night, I actually talked about how we're already releasing. We're letting things go 24/7. And it's only the tape in our mind that keeps playing over and over that makes us think that we're not releasing and letting things go. But as something is in our past, meaning 5 minutes ago past or 50 years ago past, it is done. It is gone. It is released. Has been let go of. It's just our mind that goes back in and grabs it and like pulls it to the now. So the whole meditation last night was very much about the awareness of how the mind works and how we can very easily recall and pull up anything from the past or even a desire for the future and then get stuck on the lack of that thing being present in our lives. So in other words, a shorter way of saying this is we're always releasing. Our body, as we inhale, we exhale, and we release stuff in that exhale. We don't think about what we are exhaling. We don't say, gosh, I need to really exhale that one molecule of CO2 deep down in my liver. We never say that. No one ever says that. But the body is doing that naturally. So I think it's really important and very empowering and helpful to realize I am releasing. I am letting go. I am freed from X, Y, and Z. And if you're not feeling like you are, it's just a trapping of the mind that keeps replaying something. And so that you just get better and better at focusing on breathing, taking in and letting go, and then everything else takes its natural course. So that is my release and meditation little spew. Getting centered, I always like to literally visualize being a tree and imagine my feet become roots and they get planted into the earth really, really, really deep down. And I have the trunk as my body, and the energy coming out of my crown chakra is like the leaves and branches. And I just expand into a huge giant tree. And that's very centering. Also centering is just focusing on your breath and realizing like this moment is the only moment that's actually real. So when we're listening, when we're talking at all times in our life, our mind is paying attention, is listening, but there's a lot of stuff going on in the background of our brain. And that's the stuff that causes havoc. And it's like snow or fuzziness in the back of our existence. So getting centered is really just saying, okay, right now it consists of I'm hearing Deborah's voice, I'm tuning in on YouTube, I'm listening, feel your body, feel where your feet are, notice how your clothes feel on you, not with a judgment, but notice where are you? Like literally right in this moment. And that is a very centering activity. Oh, Karen, hey you. Oh my God, Karen, I got literally such a ridiculous giggle over your post, which I reposted yesterday on Facebook, about the difference between a man marries an Italian woman, a Polish woman, and an Irish woman. And I literally was like, ask Greg. I was literally laughing so hard. I was like, oh my God, this is so true. I mean, I don't even know about the Italian and Polish. I just know what is said of the Irish was so true that it just keeps making me laugh even when I think about it. So you're saying you were looking forward to this all week. Oh, that's good, Karen. I have a question. Do you ever argue with spirits? Well, there have been recent times for me personally arguing with like my loved ones, going really like stuff going on in my life. And I'm like, really, Grandma? Like, really, really, Aunt Grace? What the hell? So yes, but not really. Sometimes during a reading, I argue in my mind, like, hey, I don't want to say that, or hey, that can't be possible, or so I have arguments in that case. But as far as actual arguments, no. As a medium, no, and as As a person, probably. I would, if I really thought about it, I probably would. I probably am like really pissed at my grandmother, um, for for reasons that I shouldn't even get into. So is that what you mean? But as far as being a medium, no. Personally, yes. I know a lot of people do, are angry at their loved ones for passing, or angry for things that are unresolved, or things that they didn't do that caused them havoc afterwards. So I know people have and definitely do argue with their loved ones after they've passed. Not all the time, but they do. And that's totally normal. And they on the other side are not offended by that. I need a Jameson Irish coffee. I'm thinking I don't need that. That would not be good. They taste great. I love them, but I think that is actually, I just read coffee's terrible for throat and cough issues. So no caffeine, they say, which is not going to happen either tomorrow. But Susan, when does a new energy class start for beginners? It'll be at the end of March and somewhere in April. That is my energy transformation awareness class. It's that major one that I talk about all the time. Part 1 is super intense, super powerful. It is super bonding. I love to see the group when everyone walks in and nobody knows each other, because I do not let people take the class with anybody you know. No family members, no friends. I don't allow it. Then if you have 2 people, like 2 friends who want to take it, one's going to have to wait. So that'll start March, the end of March, April, depending on how like the weather's looking for March, because I just don't want weather to be a factor as to why people can't get to the center. It's spread out over the course of 6 weeks, but we actually just meet 3 weekends in a row. So not in a row. 1 weekend on, a weekend off, a weekend on, a weekend off, and then a weekend on. So look around March, April. I take the maximum of 20, but my last group was 15, and I really liked that number. So I'm even considering lowering the number down to 15 for all those. But that's my favorite. It's my favorite thing to teach, and I wish I could run that course every week, like every week of every year, and that was only my job, because I just love that so much. The stuff that comes from that class, it's just life-changing. It really is. I see it. I see the proof in the people every single week, and then the follow-ups, and you have my undivided attention. And if any of you are here who have taken ETA, you can comment on, you have access to me for 6 weeks of real back and forth, like mentorship. It's really, really intense. So I'm like literally like your life coach, mentor, private, but not private coach during that time. Hot toddies, shot of scotch. Ooh, scotch. Ooh, can't do it. Can't do scotch. I know I'm making all my Irish heritage not proud of saying no to alcohol, but I feel like that alcohol is probably not going to work. Thank you, Carolyn. No Jameson. Thanks, Greg. Blocks exist like fixations. Absolutely. Hey, Robin. Let's see. Everyone's changing the way Jameson's is spelled. Butterscotch snop. See, I met one person mentions alcohol, and all of you people are jumping on board with like, yes, alcohol, put butterscotch, put cinnamon, put whipped cream. Who the hell knows? Trust me, I like all those things. Just, I don't think I'm gonna do it. All right, do I feel relatives' energy even when they are thousands of miles away? Oh, God, I wish I didn't. There are some relatives I wish I didn't feel at all. And I'm assuming, Tracy, you mean physical relatives. But just clarify with me if you mean like, I'm not sure what you mean, actually. Could be my brain is foggy, but do you mean like relatives who are still living? And do you mean my personal relatives, or do I feel other people's relatives who are still physically here? So just clarify that one with me. Melissa, you want to take a class, but you don't drive at night. Well, then the energy transformation is all during the day. So maybe that one will be a good one for you. But if if it's meant to be, it will be. That's what I always say. If you're meant to come, you will come. Oh, they say chocolate's good. I never have a shortage of that around here. Honey, lemon, cinnamon, and rest my voice. Cindy, you didn't miss anything at all. Let's see. ETA, amazing. Okay. Do I feel my physical personal relatives even if they're thousands of miles away? Not I don't really try to tune into my family members, even the ones I actually like. I don't try to tune in. I'm trying to think because my father does, and my father and my mom, my stepmom, my sister, my brother-in-law, they do live 3,000 miles away in San Diego. So I'm trying to think, do I plug into them? I mean, sometimes I get what I call my BLTs, my big long thoughts about my own family members and relatives and friends. So I guess yes, but more I actually pick up on other people's people more than my own, because there is a big difference between feeling intuitive and just knowing people. So I'm not a good intuitive for people I know really well. So that's why I always tell people say, "Oh, I would love to be your friend. It must be so fun." I'm like, "No, actually, I'm not fun as a friend at all." Because I'm like, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen for you. That sucks. I just can't because I'm too blocked because I'm too close to it. So I think that's what you mean. And yeah, there are testimonials of ETA on YouTube. So if you pop that in or type that in, you can look up what people say about ETA. Oh, Pam, you're so adorable. Take ETA. You just took Deborah's last class. It's one of the best things I've done for myself. The 15 of us still connect on a regular basis. You're friends for life. You guys really are. Like every single group just becomes super bonded, and it's a bond because you're all strangers and because you live from all over. It's so much safer to have the bond because you're not like in each other's worlds, which is so like key, and we miss it. Why is it that when we meet certain people, we do not like them? Is there such a thing as negative energy? There definitely is negative energy here on this side. I always tell people there's no such thing as negative energy on the other side. No matter what a person did here in life, as if they're negative and evil and all of that here in the physical, when they cross over, they lose that portion of themselves. They're no longer negative. But people absolutely have negative energy here. And it's also a sorry. It's also a dynamic between, it's kind of like personalities and people also have interpersonal kind of chemical reactions to each other. So you either resonate with someone or you don't right away. Some interpersonal reactions and dynamics take a while to foster. Others are immediate, and others are immediately like, nope, I just don't like that person. So there's all different kinds of energy, but I always want to caution people from coming from that mindset of, oh, that person is negative, because someone very well may be negative, but usually there is someone that they get along with and they love. So it's always a two-way street, a double-edged sword, a two-way equation. It's never like it's rarely that other person that's so negative. Now, yes, you will find people that many people find hard to swallow and hard to hang around. But for every person who is negative and declared unbearable or unkind or fake or phony or whatever, there are just as many people who would defend that person. So we talked about this a little bit last week, and it's very empowering to know that, there are people in my own life that I just don't care for anymore. And I have my very sound reasons for that. But as I mature and as I grow and as I get able to let go and release and be completely okay with the dynamic, I'm able to see like, okay, that's my dynamic with them. And that doesn't necessarily make them bad. They're bad with me. My energy and their energy, no bueno. But I don't need to throw all the blame anymore. It feels good to, but also what feels better is going, you know what? It's just our dynamic together. Some people find them to be amazing and wonderful, and those people would be right too. So remember that if you're not getting along with someone, always look like, is this me? What part of this is me? What am I adding to the dynamic? And then you might be like, nope, it's not me. That person, I just don't resonate. We just don't get along. Does that make sense? But I think that's a better way to approach things, because we tend to, as humans, become, for some reason, in this mindset of needing everything to be in the absolute. Someone's either good or bad. Someone's either really kind or they're not. And that's not the case. It is situational. Think of each other as like chemical reactions. They're either smooth or they're not smooth. And if they're not smooth, you can apply different chemicals and dynamics, so to say, to change the dynamic between you, or try to. But if that doesn't work, then there usually is the best way to just kind of like release yourself or remove yourself from the energy, if you can. If you can. Coconut oil to cider vinegar and honey. It's more tolerable. Coconut oil has microbials. How do I say that? Microbials. Hello, Renee. How are you? I'm trying not to cough in this. Kieran, I'm really excited to see you on here. When you first started doing this, when did you first start doing this? Did you ever feel emotionally drained? How long did it take you to be able to do what you do without being exhausted? I still haven't figured out how to do it without being exhausted. I definitely do have a better kind of boundary system now, as far as just emotionally not connecting on that emotional level. So it helps, but I still am like so drained after every day of work. Michelle, my assistant, will say like, oh my God, she could see it on my face where I'm tired of talking. I'm tired of thinking. I'm tired of feeling. I'm tired of dissecting and understanding. So it's very intense. Like for me, mediumship's not like, oh, well, I'm picking up on feathers. Like it's not like that for me. It's very, very intense. It's very, very focused. There's a part of my brain that I turn on and off, and then when I'm on it, all of my focus and attention is there. The cool part of when I'm working is I completely forget that I exist. And it sounds really weird, but I'm literally so focused on the person sitting in front of me and their energy and the energies around that person that I forget that I'm in the middle of maybe a shitstorm of life, or that I'm stressed about something, or that my kid has to go somewhere, or that I don't feel well, or whatever. Like it's like all of a sudden that all goes away, and I am that person in front of me and all their loved ones. And that part I like. I really like that part. But it's still exhausting. And then when I first started doing this, when I realized that this is what it was 18 years ago. But I've been doing this literally my entire life. I have been conditioned to understand energy, understand how people are feeling, to really feel out a room. Since my brother passed when I was 3, he was 4. I always had to have like that emotional temperature of a room. So that served me very well, because I've been doing that my whole life. But it was 18 years ago that I realized I first do this. And I'm always emotionally drained. Always. Can houses really be haunted? I don't like the word haunted. It's the most common word that's used. There really isn't another word to use. But I don't like the word haunted because instantly that gives us a connotation that there's some kind of negativity or creepiness about energy in a house. So I really always want to reiterate that we're changing the way we think and feel about energy and dynamics on the other side. It's not paranormal TV. It's not evil energy. None of that stuff. But yes, houses can have energy. many do. Not all do. Like my house, our house is not a highly energetically felt home. I lived in another house many years ago that was super, like, had a lot of energy in it from the past. Uh, so let's start taking the word haunted out of things and we just say, like, yep, this house has energy. And it's usually energy present from families and friends that used to live in the house, or if it's farmland or war lands, territories of war, those carry the energy of whatever happened on the earth in that location. And a quick story about that is many years ago when I first started this, I did house parties and I would go to people's homes and I'd read like 10, 12 people in a day, which I cannot believe I did that. Like there's no way in hell I will ever read 10 people in a day, like half hour each session, back to back. It was intense. I'm grateful for it. I met so many people. It's how it all started. I would book a party and then be like, oh, and then someone from that would want one. And that's literally how this whole thing grew for me. But at one of the houses in Westchester, I was upstairs in the bedroom doing readings, and I always recorded my sessions. Back then, it was on one of those tape cassettes. Literally, I would record them to tapes, and I'd hand the tape to the person right then and there. And the person listened to their tape like a day or two afterwards, and they were like, there is Civil War drumming sound in the background of the tape. Now, there was no TV playing, there was nothing going on during the reading. I was upstairs, I was quiet. I know it was, I was there. And I was like, you're kidding, that's weird. But I kind of thought they were like embellishing, and they had me listen to it. And when I tell you it is the coolest, craziest, creepiest thing ever, in the background you can hear like the drumming, like a drum line of like the Civil War era. So I was like, that is something, because we know we did not hear that. They researched the house and that particular location of that house and the many miles radius was a huge battle of Civil War at some point. So there was a ton of history right in that spot uh, that was war related. And I just remember thinking like, oh my God, you can't make that up. So I used to also then have very touchy, sensitive equipment that would record my sessions, because I thought maybe if I get better equipment, we'll pick up on what's called EMF recordings. And I got really great equipment, super expensive, really kind of annoying to use. I hooked it up to a laptop and I would burn a CD right in front of you after the session. And the only thing this recording ever picked up was my stomach that growled or made all sorts of noises during readings. And people would go, oh my God, it picked something up. And they'd send it to me and I'd listen back and I'd be like, no, nope, that's my stomach growling for sure. That's not like your ancestors. So there you go. So yes, they can be haunted. They can have energy, but don't think of it haunted as negative. No more thinking that way. You can get a creepy vibe from an energy, probably because their vibe here in physical life was intense, and or when you're not expecting to feel an energy and then you do, it's creepy. I mean, I'm in that world every single day. But if an energy comes to me out of the blue, I'm like, what is that? Who is that? It's a creepy feeling. It doesn't mean they're creepy or they're negative, but usually we don't get past that initial creep factor and we instantly interpret that as, oh, this person's energy must be bad, but it's not. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Are orbs real or my dusty house? Both. A lot years ago, I used to tell people, oh my God, send me your pictures of your orbs and let me see. Now I don't tell people to do that because I would receive so many a day that I was like, I can't keep up with all these orbs and these pictures. I would say 98% of those types of photos are dust. And I know that's like a big, like I'm like Debbie Downer saying that, but most are dust. Most are like little light particles that are getting picked up by the camera. So most are logically explained by some sort of actual scientific definition and reason. And then there's others that are not. So yes, orbs are real. I do believe that the more intense our camera systems are getting, we will pick up more and more on energy. I find all of that stuff fascinating because that, to me, that's like scientific proof, as long as it hasn't been like tampered with, which some people do. But orbs, I've had many experiences. Most notable for me was with James von Prague at Omega. Right before we did a meditation, there's about 200 people doing a meditation with him, and he took a picture of the room, and then we meditated, and he took a picture of the room after we meditated, and the room was filled with orbs, whereas before it was not. So that to me is cool. That's cool stuff. So it could be dust, but it could be orbs. Let's see. There's a woman that joined our circle, and her energy is so not for me. Everyone says how nice she is. I get a broken glass feeling from her. I can't get past it. Yeah, I hate that. I hate when like someone, like everyone says they love someone so much, and then you're anticipating like really enjoying them, and then you're like, no, I don't like that. Nuh-uh, no. So you would dissect it. Like the fact that you are saying it feels like broken glass is a very intuitive statement, because usually we say, well, I think she's a busybody, or, well, I think she's blah, blah, blah. And we put a label on it. But if we can, instead of putting a label on these dynamics and feelings, and put a feeling to it, like you just did, like I get broken glass feeling, that's an intuitive, that's information, because you're not just being like petty. It's like, I don't know, it's broken. And when I'm doing readings, that's stuff that I'll feel. Like I'll feel like, oh, that person, oh my gosh, they're like, they feel hot to me, which means they're a hothead. Or broken glass would be like, oh my gosh, like they're just, what you see is not what they get, or they're sharp, obviously. So that's an intuitive statement. So I would 100% stick with your gut on that, James. But don't commit yourself to still not liking her or trying not to like her, because the ego, the human ego, we want to do that. We want to be right. We want to prove like, nope, 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 nope. This person's broken glass and they're no good. We are human and we do want to be proven correct. But be mindful of that. Pull back on that and just honor the broken glass feeling you're getting, but still kind of approach her with curiosity of like, what is this? What's deeper here? Because maybe you're feeling some of her trauma from her past, which is not even who she is. So we want to be careful when we judge very quickly or make that judgment, or we're attached to proving like that person is no good. And I had that. We're all human. We all do it. I had that with a very, very worldwide famous healer. And a lot of you were here with me for this. And I won't say what healer it is just because it's not important at this point. But the moment this worldwide famous healer came into the room, I had the worst feeling ever. Like I was literally witnessing evil on earth. Like literally. And I thought, what the hell is wrong with me? There's something wrong. And I thought, oh my gosh, is this jealousy? Like, am I jealous? Am I jealous? And one of the emotions that I don't typically feel often is jealousy. It's not that I haven't felt it, but it's not one I experience very often, thank goodness, because I don't feel like anyone has something that I can't have or don't have or won't have. So I don't really identify with jealousy very much. But I was like, oh my God, is this what jealousy feels like? Am I jealous that like this person's worldwide famous and I'm not? Am I trying to be bigger than them? I was really distraught because I'm like, this person has been proven to be this amazing healer in the world. And I was so unhappy, so uncomfortable. Fast forward a couple of years and some information came out that that particular healer is not so good. Let's put it that way. And I have to say, there's this part of me, a massive part of me, that is so validated. Like, oh my God, thank God I was right. You know, it's always that right, wrong thing. But so we're human. We want to prove ourselves right. We want our guts to be correct, but sometimes that gets in our own way too. So approach her with curiosity. Honor your feelings always, but approach with curiosity. Let's see. What is an orb? An orb is It's like a little ball of light that gets picked up in photographs that don't have an explanation to them. So like we said, sometimes particles of dust can get captured in a photo and it's that, and it could appear like it's an orb. But there are true orbs that are just like, sometimes they're colorful, sometimes they're see-through. Sometimes you actually can see a face in the orb, which is very cool. They could be very, very tiny. They could be really, really big in the picture. A picture with James von Prague right after that meditation that we took together. There is a ginormous orb, like over, like in between both of us, our heads. And I thought that was so cool. I have no idea who it was or what it was, but it's cool. So if you Google orb, you'll get a lot of information. Just remember it is Google. So you don't want to like get too crazy with it. Yes, Maria, in reference to what James just stated, is it possible that when we have an immediate uneasiness with a person, it's because we're acquainted in the past life? Yes, that's a possibility. But science also did this study, and it was done actually with bushy eyebrows. They took a person who had a traumatic event with a male who had very bushy eyebrows, and they followed her throughout life, and instantly, somebody who had bushy eyebrows, she just did not like, because subconsciously her mind recorded this feature and negativity together. And so a lot of times we are making associations with people that remind us of someone or something in the past, which is why we don't like them right away, or why we like them right away. It goes both ways. So the mind is so fascinating. It has recorded everything that ever has happened to us. And that's why I say approach with curiosity, because maybe you're picking up on something in the past that resonates with you, or this woman reminds you of an old teacher that humiliated you in class, or, that's when we have to really become aware of like, I'm placing a judgment on this person that has not yet been validated for me. So I'm not telling you not to trust your guts. In fact, quite the opposite. Honor your feeling, honor your gut. Don't tell yourself not to feel that way, but have gentle curiosity of like, okay, maybe what is this? Let's see what this is. There's remember, not Good Will Hunting, Patch Adams, the movie Patch Adams. I brought this up recently somewhere. In that movie, Patch Adams was that physician, and he opened up this clinic, and he had his girlfriend who worked with him, was also a physician. And this man would come to the clinic all the time, and she would say to Patch, he creeps me out. I don't get a good vibe from him. And Patch said, he's fine. He's harmless. He's suffering. It's our job to heal. We have to take care of him. Don't make judgments. And she would always go, I don't know. There's something really creepy about him. I just don't like it. And Patch told her, like, you're a healer, so we have to go anyway. We have to do what we have to do. And he was ill or something, and she went to his house to take care of him or help him, and then he winds up killing her. I know this is like gruesome Monday night talk show here. But I love that scene because Patch obviously afterwards was devastated he felt like he threw his girlfriend into the hands of like a lion's mouth. But it was so poignant to me of like, wow, just because someone says something about someone and you're getting an opposite feeling, you just have to listen to your gut. You just have to. And you don't need to make a story up. You don't need to validate it. You just honor it, and then have gentle curiosity with people. And that's how you'll be able to be safe, emotionally safe, physically safe, psychically safe, energetically safe. But also be able to start learning like, oh, wow, like I actually really, really liked that person. I'm always amazed when there's somebody that I was like, yeah, I'm not going to like them. And then I wind up loving them. And I'm like, man, damn, how'd that happen? How was I wrong? Doesn't happen much, but how was I wrong about that person? Okay. Does everyone reincarnate? Yes, I do believe everyone reincarnates. I actually don't believe there's ever an end to reincarnation. So I know there are schools of thought that talk about that we keep coming back until we get better and better, and then we're smarter and smarter, and then we get to decide if we want to spend the rest of our eternity in nirvana and bliss and not get reincarnated. But the more I do this, the more I actually think that we keep coming back because we're already a part of the whole. We're already in nirvana. We already have that. So we wouldn't need to choose to not reincarnate anymore. We could just choose to be an enlightened being on the planet. And I do believe that most souls would choose that versus never coming back again. And having said that, trust me, I'd love to be like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm done. This is my last lifetime. I don't need to come back. I got all my books packed. I'll remember the lessons. I took copious notes of this lifetime. In the last 4,000, I'm good. But I know I'm coming back. I just hope I come back as like a glorified pet of like a billionaire. I would like that. That seems nice. Because this human living thing is so annoying to me. I think it's just so stupid. I think when I say it's meaningless, that makes me sound crazy. It's so meaningless, which helps me because then I can attach meaning to whatever I want to here, which helps me then create meaning here. But other than that, it's so silly what we put ourselves through and the stress and what we get all worked up over. I think that's so stupid how we all are. And I'm falling in that trap too. I'm not above or beyond it by any means yet, which is why I'll be coming back many times over. And if so, can someone who passed many years ago be contacted? Yes. Anyone who's passed, you can be crossed over and reincarnated at the same time and still be able to connect with both, because nobody is a full 100% reincarnation of a prior self. So like say George Washington's reincarnated. It's just going to be a sliver of his energy that's reincarnated. It's not the full George Washington. It's aspect of his energy kind of getting recycled into a new body. So it's not the whole thing. It's not the whole person, I should say. We still have a new identity and we're pulling an old identity, or we're vibrating with the memory of an old energy. Does that make sense? I hope so. But you can always contact someone who has crossed over and is reincarnated. However, it's also very unusual. And this is according to studies. It's not even just frou-frou thinking. It's unusual to reincarnate within a generation or even two. So it's usually a much longer span. There are cases of someone literally being reincarnated 9 months after they've passed. That has been documented. So it is possible, but statistically speaking, it's super rare for that to happen. And there's studies by Carol Bowman, who I bring up all the time. Ian Stevenson, is that who the name is? Why am I blanking out? Brian Weiss does a lot of these studies, but mostly in India, there's so many studies with past lives because it's a very, very normal, natural part of their culture. It's a completely accepted concept in their culture. So their kids are much more open to sharing and talking about it. It's not weird. Whereas here, if we say, "Ma, I remember when I was your mommy," and a little kid says that, in our culture, we usually go, "What? What are you talking about?" Or, "That's funny. Oh, you must be playing," that sort of thing. But in that culture, they will say, "Oh, really? What was your name? Who were you?" And they will really pull out a lot of that memory for them. So it's encouraged in those cultures way more than it is here. And I just had a private group this weekend, and past lives are not something I can command to know. So it's not like someone can come to me and say, "Okay, who was I in a past life?" They have come to me in readings, but I would say maybe 1 out of every 50, maybe even 100 people, I'll get insight as to a past life. And that always fascinates me. I definitely am on the thought of, don't go to someone to see who you were in a past life. Like, it's so much better to go for past life regression and actually experience who you were versus hearing an intuitive tell you who you were, because it's such a different experience. It's so much more powerful when you have experienced it yourself. Also, a lot of times in readings, I always feel like past lives are like glorified, like, oh, I was a princess, or, everybody was like, Cleopatra, and everybody was a general in the army. I did have one past life, like I was some sort of like shaman healer guy, but I don't know if I was like famous. I was famous in my little tribe. But most of my past lives were very boring, ordinary humans. I was a pioneer in a Conestoga wagon in one that was powerful. I was, one of the ones I remember is I was around 14 years old, and all I remember seeing this ginormous, like, ballroom floor, and some sort of like, I don't know if it's a castle or I don't know where it was, but ginormous, ornate place. And I was in charge of having to do that floor on my hands and knees, cleaning the floor. And man, did I hate that lifetime. I did not like being a servant. I did not like being told what to do. And I swear to God, I hate sweeping and I hate mopping. And I always feel like, oh, that makes sense to me. I don't freaking want to do floors ever again in any lifetime. But that's all I really got out of that lifetime. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to do floors in this lifetime. It triggers me. That's why I tell Greg, I don't want to get triggered from that past life by sweeping. So you're going to have to take over from here. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Oh my God, so funny. Let's see. If the new guy crossing the Delaware in a small boat has bad teeth, I'd put my money on a George Washington. Agreed. Me too, for sure. I always feel like everybody's like this glorified being in these past lives. Like, oh, there's a princess. And I was like, no, I was some little girl that had to do floors. Some big giant building. Okay, if you meditate with focus on the future, do you ever get predictions regarding what the future holds? Absolutely. 100%. I feel my way through the future versus seeing what's going to happen. So, and it's a little bit harder to do this for ourselves, although I really have been exercising this a lot lately for myself. But like when I'm doing a reading and someone will ask me, when will I move? The first thing I'm doing is I'll recognize, okay, what month are we in? December. Okay, when are we going to move? And just in my mind, I'll go through December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. And then I'll feel like, oh, July, something feels different. July, I feel July. So that's how I work with future events and seeing things in the future for the most part. So I would tell people to try that. Feel your way through. Ask yourself a simple question and then feel your way through of like, oh, when does it feel like that'll be resolved? Or when do I feel like that'll come to pass? And it's kind of fun to do. It's a fun exercise. Can you mentally connect with someone who's in the process of crossing over? Oh my God. Ugh. Yes, absolutely. I have many times. Oh, who is that? It's George Washington. Holy crap.
Does Deborah do the
oh my
straw?
You're so kind. Do you want to come on?
I don't think I'm worthy.
You're worthy.
I'm just a secretary.
You're a beautiful secretary. Thank you. Want to come on? Here's Benjamin. I don't know if you haven't been on here in a long time. Maybe I'll have you do the talking.
Okay.
Come on.
Let's answer some medium questions.
Let's fix the look at your hair. It's all pixelated. One moment, please. This is exciting little thing that's happening here. I don't know how to fix that. Wait, let's see. Whoops. There we go. Okay. So for those of you who have not met my son, Benjamin, here he is in the flesh. We were talking about past lives.
I was a vicious sailor in my past life. Vicious. Caught
Tuna?
No, Moby Dick.
Oh.
I was that captain.
Huh.
Yes. I don't know if you knew this.
Ahab.
Yes, Ahab. I was indeed Ahab.
Huh.
Yes.
Was I in that lifetime with you?
Is that Robin?
I've
not seen her since I was 8 years old.
Oh my God, that's so cute. Look at
Oh,
everybody
hey,
saying hi,
Eileen.
Ben. It's so
Hi,
cute.
Maria. I don't know. Hi,
You would love Maria.
Maria.
Yep, Melanie's from Albany. Oh, look at Karen is on. Karen, you've met Karen. She comes to the center. Now I see. Ben wants to come down and visit you. I'm glad
I
you
didn't
did.
know if you did the ice thing because I'm just a
That was
secretary. I'm
so
new
kind
here.
of you. This is working better, I think, than that. Thanks. And we do use metal straws to save the planet, by the way. I like them much better than paper straws. Okay. Let's see if we have questions for Benjamin. How do I help a person who's seeing relatives who have passed on? They are telling me is this a sedated state, but I'm asking them who they're seeing. They get nervous and I don't know how to help. Give Ben a mic here. Let's see. I
Oh no,
think
is Chris coming in to like kill my time?
I don't think so.
I just heard him.
So Melissa, I would just keep telling them let's see. Are they saying that they're seeing someone and then or are you just point blank asking? Because if you're point blank asking, I wouldn't ask them that because they are in a sedated state, which gives them which might make them nervous. But if they're telling you they're seeing someone and then you're asking like, wait, who? You just have to hold space. But we are always intrigued as to who is around us and we want to know, but sometimes it's better for the person to just let it come out on their own.
Exactly what I was gonna say. Word for word. God, we're
like in sync.
Like in sync. Exactly what I was gonna say.
I like that Jello, Benjamin. I thought you were really saying Jello, but she meant hello.
Hello, Carolyn. Hello. I like Melissa's profile picture.
Yeah, that is pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's My Little Pony.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Hi, Barbara. I'm
Aw,
getting so many people.
you
I'm
are.
just a fan favorite.
So Ben actually designs and makes clothing, which I find to be amazing. Like he's taught himself how to sew, and all of you guys know me. I did not teach him to sew. I don't even I don't have that skill and ability whatsoever. But I mean, he made 2 pairs of pants this week.
4.
4?
Yeah.
Oh my God, 4 pairs of pants. It's crazy. It's so intriguing to me. So I just love that he's got this creative. You definitely got your creativity from your dad. I'll give you that. I'll give him that. I did. You did. So he's very creative. I am not creative. So this is good. This is good news. Okay.
We're at yes, and it closer to the mic, Greg. Sorry, Dad.
Okay. When meeting new people and you are asked what your mom does for a living, what is your reply?
I took this from Greg. If they're like kind of annoying, I'm just like, oh, my mom messes with dead people. She talks to them like, and then if I'm actually like cool with them, I'll just be like, she's a medium.
Do people ask you?
Yeah, a lot.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people in my school want to see you actually.
Like who? Kids or teachers?
Kids. Miss Young really wants to see you.
Oh my God, that's so funny to me. Because you know what? It's so weird. Like Benjamin, when I grew up, I didn't have that's a kind of a weird job to have to explain to people. So how do you handle that? I would just avoid it.
I just brush it off the old shoulder and, just keep on with my day.
Keep on with your day.
Yeah.
Just be like, I don't know, she needs medication or something. That's a hard thing to answer. Does anyone ever give you a hard time? Like, ooh, what's
Mrs.
that?
Strano. Oh, I'm
right.
naming him.
Oh, yeah.
I'm naming him. Michael Strano. That was him.
That is funny. Yes. God, somebody in Walk Hill is totally listening to this, and we just outed him.
Oh,
yeah, I did hear that.
Nah, he's cool though. Like me and him joke around.
Yeah, now he is because we have to say we love him.
Oh no, I do actually like him.
No,
he's pretty funny.
It's funny. What he did say something to the class about mediums, right?
Yeah, he was like, they're not real and all this other stuff, and I was just kind of like, well, I know a medium.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I'm just a great guy.
That is hilarious. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. What's the name of your website?
Jamin Badour. Badour spelled Badour.
And Jamin, like Benjamin, Jamin, Badour. Which I think is pretty cool. Jamin Badour. Ben has always been a like a moneymaker, mindset, entrepreneur. I mean, when you were 10 years old and we moved to Brighton Green, he would just get up really early in the morning when it would snow and he would go to every neighbor's house, be like, "Can I shove your driveway for $10?" And he would make money. I thought
I'm
somebody was coming
I remember one year I was like 11 and you didn't know where I went.
in.
And
That's a good
you kind
mother.
of got scared.
That's great mothering
You
for
got
me.
scared and I come back with like $80 and you're like, "Where the hell did you get this?" and all this other stuff.
And you're like, I
Yeah.
worked for it.
And I was like, "I just shoveled driveways," and you were like acting like it was a huge deal. I'm just a millionaire.
It is a huge deal. It's a huge deal.
If anyone knows a tailor, I want to apprentice one, so put me on, please.
Oh, that's a good little shout out. Yeah,
Yes,
if anyone
I
knows
just
a
want
tailor
this,
nearby
yes.
that he can apprentice with and learn from, hook him up, please. It's a good one. Ben, you're talented. Deborah, does he get his cooking skills from you too?
Deborah does not cook.
And do you? Well, you make yourself some sandwiches.
Yeah, I'll make myself a mean peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I think that's cooking.
Very talented, yes.
That's good. So yes, he does get his cooking skills
Yes.
from me. Yes, not so
Yes.
interested in cooking. Although Christopher,
Chris
the
is.
young one, he watches Gordon Ramsay all the time. So he is really truly into cooking, and he'll flip the eggs and he'll make us stuff. So that's always good.
It's not the
We're
best. It's not the best, but like, no, I'm kidding.
It's pretty good.
Thank you, Eileen. I love you.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. What did Eileen say? Ben is so funny. Look, mother and son, gorgeous smiles. They're including me in that, so I'm gonna take it.
I think it was like 70, 25%. We'll split it.
I'll take 25. I'm good with that.
Now you're kind of like making me want to bring it down to 15.
That's the manager in you. Yes, Jamin Badur. Only Badur is one word. Yep, you got it, Melissa. So Ben, that's hard to deal with. What do you think? Like, is it hard to deal with, like, with the whole medium thing? And
Not really, because people really don't know. Half the people don't know what it is, and the people that do know what it is are like very interested in it. So it's like they either don't know what it is and like say, "What's that?" Just like talk to dead people, and then they don't, and then the ones that know what it is ask me a million questions, and then I'm just like, "Yeah, I don't know how she does it. I think she does like perks and stuff.
It's
She takes prescriptions."
I do perks. Yes, I hallucinate.
Yes,
That's all I do. Is what you're saying.
Ben is very intuitive.
He is intuitive.
Very.
He is intuitive. He can feel people. I think of all three of you guys, Ben is the most likely to be of mediumship. Believe it or not. Did I ever tell you that?
Not in a million years I'm going to do that. But
I don't recommend you to take it on. Oh, look what Eileen said. Aunt Eileen.
And Eileen.
She said, stop. She made awesome Thanksgiving food.
That was good.
It was good. I do make Thanksgiving, everybody, and I love doing Thanksgiving. For some reason, I can just focus on the Thanksgiving food, and it comes out pretty good.
No, it was pretty good
Yeah.
this year. It was pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Like, what? Oh my God, I'm glad you came down. It saved my voice. The water feels good on it. Have you made clothes for your mother?
No, I keep trying to say I keep telling you that if you want to throw something out, I can add designs to it. And she just like, "Oh, I don't want to throw anything out." She's a hoarder. And we need therapy.
We need therapy. Wait,
Thumbs up tonight.
have you made clothes for your mom? I would like a scarf.
Scarf.
Yeah,
Scarves are easy though.
So I'd love
I'm
that.
just doing it. Oh, I'm actually starting to make like hats, like beanies and stuff soon.
Would you want to see me in a beanie?
Absolutely not.
Right,
but-
exactly.
I mean, take what you can get. No,
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
kidding.
take a scarf. But here's what I do want him to do. I want to make t-shirts, like Deborah themed t-shirts, and I want him to design them. What do you guys think about that idea? Let's wait for their response. Let's wait. Let's see. Keep on with the day. Susan's laughing when you're like, I just keep on with the day. Yeah, Greg wants to know where's the thumbs up tonight because Greg is the producer, I guess, of this event. And he wants the thumbs up for
He's the local creep that tunes in every Monday.
the local creep.
Just gotta get him some help.
Gotta get him to help. So if someone made homemade meatballs and sauce, would you make spaghetti or would you provide the entire meal on wheels? actually, I do make meatballs. You don't really like my meatballs, or do you?
They're all right.
They're
They're like they're not awful. No, they actually are pretty good, but like I don't like eating balls. No, I'm kidding.
right. Oh my god. He is definitely my son.
Yes.
See, I
Yeah.
love eating balls.
Oh, okay.
I had to, you guys. I had to.
Thank you. I think so too. Thank you. I'm very handsome. No, I'm kidding.
Thank you.
I get it from my dad, Greg.
I make great meatballs, and the recipe came from Jonna Spilbor's mother, and she taught a group of us women who do not know how to cook. We go to her mom's house, and she taught us a meatball recipe, and it's amazing. So I do make, I think, pretty good meatballs.
They are pretty good.
And sausage and spaghetti and sauce. I do make actually good sauce. I should have been Italian. See, they'd buy a T-shirt. What?
Is this like what it is? Why did Greg say that?
He's asked him to do that a million times. I think design a T-shirt for me.
Oh.
Hats are not for you, Deb. Please make some shirts. Thank you. Make her something beautiful. That'd be awesome. You should do that, Ben. Yes. Greg is referring to our conversation about balls. That's inappropriate.
Yeah, I'm 16, guys. Come on. I'm 16. Come on.
You brought it up. 16-year-olds talk about this a lot. So good, Ben. Good answer. I don't know which one was good.
Oh, I said it like I think it's like delayed 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So like
it's hard to keep
up. I said I
up.
get my like good looks from my dad.
Oh, gotcha.
It's just a joke. Take a joke.
I gotcha. All right, you guys. So it is. Can you give us some slogans? Like you guys give us some slogans?
No,
what?
Like, can you give them like?
Oh, things. What I would say.
Yeah.
I do like the bracelet that I have that says "It is what it is until it isn't." That's important. Hey, Sherry Lynn, this is my son Benjamin. I thought of another one. Actually, Michelle was laughing the other day because I was talking to Michelle. And for those of you who know and come to my events, I have these bracelets, just these rubber bracelets that have sayings on them. And the sayings are just to keep us focused. Like, it is what it is until it isn't. One says, universe is smarter than I am. I will listen to it. And I cannot remember what the third one says. Oh, your brain is an asshole. Think better thoughts. So those 3 bracelets are the main ones. But the other day I was talking to Michelle. And I said, oh my God, this is 50 Shades of Bullshit. And she was like, oh my God, that's got to be your next bracelet. 50 Shades of Bullshit. So I don't think so, but we'll come up with some different slogans. That is true. I'm not Italian because it would be gravy, not sauce. They don't call it sauce. Did you know that? They call red sauce
I don't know if you knew this. When I took Italian, I had a 9 average. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I do recall.
I was proud of that.
Yeah.
It's always the language teachers.
Yep.
That I have problems with.
Yeah, but Ben, you don't have problems with your teachers. You normally don't, just one.
Where is Paula Klomfus at?
Oh my God, stop mentioning names, please.
Oh, don't worry, she got fired.
Oh my God, Benjamin, we decorum. Have you ever been able to connect with a pet that has passed on? Yes, but it's not my specialty, so I don't always prefer to do that. I really like to stick with humans. You have my brain is an asshole, gravy versus sauce debate. Yep, that's a big one. Oh my God, that is a brilliant idea, Carolyn. A t-shirt design with a lemon with a piece of paper sticking out with my name on it and watch them go. Did you see my lemon thing? No.
I don't know you.
I don't know what's going on. That's a great idea. I'll tell you about what the lemon thing is. Yeah. I think, well, Greg is saying mention the contest, but I have to admit, we're running a contest where you could win a free book. But I don't remember what you guys have to do to do the contest, which is why I haven't mentioned it. I posted a link on my website yesterday or this morning, and it's something like if you click on it and then you subscribe to my YouTube and you like Facebook, there's 4 things you have to do. Takes 15 seconds, if that, to do them. And when you've done all 4 of those criteria, your name will be entered. And at the end of the week, one name will be chosen to win a book. So a signed book.
Shelfie.
So I just don't remember I don't remember what they have to do. That's why I was kind of keeping it on the down low. I'm just going to keep
Compliment
posting.
Benjamin as much as possible before we go off.
And you win a
you'll
shirt.
You'll win a shirt. Just saying.
Or mask. Oh, let's see. Deb's Little Fuckers, Tribe Vibes, Meditation Rocks. These are all slogans people's want.
Deborah stands.
Deborah?
You know what a stan is?
No.
It's like a fan.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's what they're called now.
Deborah stands? Like...
Yeah, like stands, like the name Stan,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like Deborah Stan.
Huh. You know, it's funny. I always like do an example of when, like, if I say to someone, like, if your Uncle Stan comes through and, like, and you don't want to talk to Uncle Stan, I always use the word Stan, but Deborah stands. Deborah stands.
What?
I don't know. I'm trying to, like, I'm letting it run off my tongue. I like Deb's Little Fuckers. Lady Gaga calls her fans the little monsters. So many years ago, I asked Facebook, what should my people be called? And people said little fuckers instead of monsters. Okay.
See the connection there? Yeah.
Yeah. So I am going to log off because it is late. I stayed on longer than I thought, only because you came down. So you actually saved the show. That's what I got to say. So, how about my son's a designer and all he made was this fucking shirt? Oh my God. Being that you love that word. I know. It's so sad that I like that word. So I'm going to log off. I love that you guys tune in to me every week. I do have fun with you. Don't forget to write down questions and jot them down during the week so that we can engage. One of these days in December, I'll surprise and do a personal intuitive questions night. I was a little worried my voice wasn't going to handle it tonight. But one of these nights soon, it'll be like an end of year gift to everybody. Do you have anything left to say without outing any teachers? No.
I was gonna.
Peace out.
Yeah.
Seacrest out.
Yeah, Seacrest. No.
You don't know what that is?
Ryan Seacrest?
Yeah.
I know that.
You do. All right. Good night, everybody. I will see you next week, and hopefully I see you all at meditation on Sunday at 7 p.m. And thank you. It's not, I don't even feel unwell. It's just a tickle in my throat. So thank you guys. I'll see you guys soon.
Whoa. Benjamin will be attending the meditation.
You are?
No, it's just
Oh, God, I'm ending on a cough. Good night.